Good. Being 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Boswis.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Gage.
Here.
Commissioner Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Osterhout.
Here.
Commissioner Twardy. Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Move to excuse Commissioner Bill Lynn.
Support. It's been moved supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask those with cell phones in the audience and also on the commission to please put them on vibrate or silence them by turning them off if you'd like. We would appreciate it. Also, I'd like to welcome newly elected Commissioner Brent Osterhout.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And look forward to working with you going forward, as well as the rest of the commission, and certainly congratulations to Commissioner Don Gary and Commissioner Jay Gage for their re-election. And Jay Gage, first time elected, he was appointed for about a 6-month period, so also looking forward going forward, gentlemen. With that, let's go to item number 1, is the public comment on scheduled agenda items. Any person may reserve time to speak on an agenda item not to exceed 3 minutes per person. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment on an agenda item? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to the consent agenda. City Clerk.
Under the consent agenda, A, minute approval. 1, approval of the minutes of the City Commission organizational meeting of November 9th. Recommended action, approve the minutes of the City Commission organizational meeting of November 9th, 2015. Item 2, acceptance of the minutes of the following boards and commissions. A, Airport Advisory Board, October 8th. B, Downtown Development Authority of August 12th, September 9th, October 14th, and November 4th. C, Economic Development Corporation of October 13th. D, PEHP Firefighters Unit of October 26th. E, PEHP Police Sergeants Unit of October 26th. F, Police Fire Pension Board of October 21st, and the corrected minutes have been dispersed to the Commission on the dais this evening. And G, Tax Increment Financing Authority of August 11th, 2015. Recommended action, accept the minutes of the various boards and commissions.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there a commissioner that would like something further explained on the consent agenda? Commissioner Gage.
Move that we support the move that we approve the consent agenda.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Boswis.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Commissioner Gage.
Yes.
Commissioner Gary.
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout.
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item 3, special orders of business. A, public hearing on confirmation of special assessment roll SW-04-15 for sidewalk replacement on Easterday Avenue and Seymour Street. A is public comments, and B is confirmation of the special assessment roll.
Okay, thank you. City Manager Turner.
Thank you, Mayor. At its meeting held on September 21st, the City Commission conducted a public hearing of necessity on a sidewalk replacement project on Easterday Avenue and Seymour Street, and adopted an associated resolution ordering these public improvements. Thereafter, at its meeting on November 2nd, the City Commission scheduled a public hearing on the confirmation of the special assessment roll for this project to be held at this meeting. At that meeting, the City Commission also awarded a contract to Darling Concrete for the work that will be executed once the special assessment roll is confirmed. A notice of the public hearing on the special assessment roll for this project has been sent to each affected property owner by the City Engineering Department. This notice advises the property owners of their respective assessment amounts, the time and place for the public hearing, and the method of collecting special assessments. As noted previously to the Commission, the project is anticipated to be taking place and being completed next spring. Accordingly, it's my recommendation that the City Commission first conduct a public hearing on the special assessment roll for the proposed sidewalk project, Easterday Avenue and Seymour Street, SW-04-15, and secondarily adopt a resolution confirming this special assessment roll, SW-04-15. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, we'll hold the public hearing on the special assessment roll for the proposed sidewalk project, Easterday Avenue and Seymour Street sidewalk replacement, SW-04-15. Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to make a comment at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the the public hearing. City Commission, Commissioner Twardy.
I move that the City Commission adopt a resolution confirming special assessment roll SW-04-15.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any questions? Do we expand? Just a question, I guess. Are we just waiting until next spring or talk to the contractor to try and get additional sidewalk done? City Manager?
That's correct, Mayor, that at that time, by that time, that would be finalized.
Because this really isn't going to happen until, unless we continue to get the kind of weather we're having right now, which I wouldn't think we'll have, but, so this will start next spring.
Correct, Mayor.
Okay, excellent. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gage?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout?
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy?
Yes.
Mayor Boswis?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 4 is the City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A on a city manager's report would provide for the award of a bid for city facilities solid waste collection and disposal. As outlined within the memorandum, on Tuesday, October 27th, 2 sealed bids were received for the city's facilities solid waste collection and disposal services. Specifications requested included weekly garbage collection and disposal services for the municipal facilities located within the city limits. The cost would cover the contractor's complete cost of collection and disposal, including but not limited to retail handling charges, overhead, and profit. The contractor will have the sole and exclusive rights to the city's municipal garbage collection and disposal services. Both proposals received met or exceeded the specifications provided, with both bids coming in slightly under the currently budgeted amount, with Waste Management bidding $1,457.10 per month and Smith Sanitation bidding $1,580 per month. The terms of the agreement would run from January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2016. The agreement would be for 1 year, and the city and vendor would have the option to renew it for an additional 2 years on a year-by-year basis. Accordingly, it's my recommendation that the City Commission award the bid for city facilities solid waste collection and disposal services to Waste Management in the amount of $1,457.10 monthly, as they were the low bidder meeting specifications. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Bauer.
Well, I guess there's not really much to discuss, is there?
No, and this is primarily the city's facilities.
Right,
So
right.
it's-
But anyway, so moved the commission award the bid for city facilities solid waste collection and disposal services to Waste Management of Sault Ste. Marie in the amount of $1,457.10 monthly.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any questions? Again, just so that the viewing public understands, the city facilities are the DPW, the wastewater treatment, the Public Works, well, that's Public Works, and pardon?
Police.
Yes, police and fire, so it's not household garbage that normally Smiths will continue that for another couple of years?
Till 2017.
2017, okay. Okay, so we have two, so we'll have Waste Management, which is continuing to do some commercial pickup in the area, and now they've got the cities, who was doing it before?
I believe it was Waste Management before.
Was Waste Management, okay. Okay, continues. Any other comments at all? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gage?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout?
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy?
Yes.
Mayor Boswis?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you.
Item B, under the City Manager's report, would provide for the award of a bid for computer applications for the Police Department. On this matter, I've requested that Police Chief Riley make a presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Evening. Evening, Chief.
Got some handouts from our records management company that came in after I submitted the agenda item. As the commission knows, the police department will be getting some new in-car computers, they're tablets. We were approved in this fiscal year's budget for $36,000 through due diligence from the police department and the IT department. We came in about $14,500 under budget for the tablets and the related equipment. And that's an image of the tablet that we're getting, a company called Explore. With that, and bringing the police department into the computer age, some kicking and screaming, including me because of my age, we do have several younger officers that are looking forward to using the tablets and related technology applications that are going to be coming with them. It's going to open the door for officers to be able to start reports while on the road, then go into the station, finish them in the station. This allows them to collect information and put them directly into the system while they're out on the street. With remaining money, I thought it'd be a good idea to contact our records management system. They handle our reports, Core Technology. See what other applications may be available. I had my sights set on one in particular, and that's an officer daily report. I believe that's the top of your handout, the officer daily report. What that does, I highlighted just a couple of sections on the first page there. The main one under ease of use, the last part of that, no paper reports. Right now they're handwriting them. Some of the officers, it's impossible to read their handwriting. Captain Whitney and I, we need to go back years or whatever to collect stats on any particular item. We have to go through hundreds of daily reports. And like I said, some of them are hard to read. On page 2, key features, I highlighted 3. It records daily activities. Now this is something, instead of writing these on paper, the officers will do this while they're in the car or in the station. And they'll just enter all the information. At the beginning of the shift, they log in, it's got their name, their car number, they do an equipment check. And then as they progress through the night, through their shift, they'll enter their activities for that day. Supervisor review. An officer will finish a daily. It'll go to the sergeant or acting sergeant. That sergeant has to approve it. If there's something wrong with it, the sergeant will send it back to the officer until it's fixed. And then the officer will approve it. It goes into the system. The captain and I can bring them up whenever we need them on the computer. No more having to hunt through filing cabinets. The third one is statistics, and that's for the captain and I. On the very bottom, you see customized database and customize. Core Technology will work with us and create these for our department. We can put in any data fields that we want. And so it's not just a blanket thing from Core Technology. The second item is CAD import, computer-aided dispatching. What this will do is when Central Dispatch takes information over the phone from somebody, they'll enter it into their computer. It will automatically populate those fields into our reporting system. St. Ignace has this. I talked to the chief, Mark Welk, down there. His officers love it. Our officers, they'll come into the station, or they can do it on the tablet in the car. They'll review the information, make sure it's correct, make any corrections if needed. But they're basically just going to be typing in errors because all the rest of the generic information will be filled in by Central Dispatch. Names, locations, dates, times, all that kind of stuff. Working with Core, Sarah from Core gave me quotes, and I believe that was submitted in with your packages. If we do the items individually right now, if I do one now, one maybe next year, whatever, it's going to cost us a bit more. They're willing to knock $1,500 off the total cost if we do both of them right now. And I think it's a good idea to do both. Since we're getting new tablets, we're learning new systems. I think it's a good idea to just get the whole thing up and running and let's run with it. I believe I also gave an information, we do have an annual maintenance fee for Core, for the systems. Our maintenance fee will go up about $2,400. I also expect about a $100 increase for the next year's maintenance fee when it comes time for that to sign that contract. So we'd be looking at about $4,900 for annual maintenance fees. I've talked with Bonnie from IT. It was agreed upon when the department switched to Core, IT department would pick up that tab. And Bonnie says that that's no problem with her budget. She'd be able to absorb that increase. So I'm asking that the commission approve, allow the police department to use the remaining funds from our tablet bids to go ahead and purchase these two applications from Core Technology in the amount of, I believe it's $12,200.
Okay, thank you. Don't go too far. There may be some questions. Okay. Commissioner Tuarty?
It's kind of a question and a comment. I can only imagine, like, I really like the CAD. I think that that is really going to streamline everything coming out of central dispatch, and not to use my same word again, streamline. I don't think it's going to take very long for the system to pay ourselves back when it comes to anywhere from clerical to your work, Chief Whitney's work, the officers' work. It's just going to save so much more time. And I can't imagine, you guys were hauling those boxes full of files back and forth into storage, and I just think that it's going to streamline everybody's time. Police officers' time is so valuable. I only think it's a benefit, but.
Commissioner Gage?
Is this going to be able, like, I'm imagining you're able to keep and store the data and track it and cross-reference it with, like, other databases? The data that you collect from, say, a traffic stop, are you able to, like, tag it and keep it? And do we share that information with other municipalities? Is that already happening?
Right now, we don't have that capability. There is another program that I talked with Sarah about. It's actually a nationwide program within the state. Michigan State Police runs it. It's called Index, and it does basically that. I haven't done a lot of research on it. I have to see what's involved on our part, and it looks like a lot of duplication of work on our part. Mm-hmm. The officers will do the report, and then somebody in the department, whether it's the officer, a clerk, the captain, is going to have to re-enter all of that information, tickets, reports, witness information, everything, into this index system.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go there.
And this software is not capable of converting it automatically?
No.
Okay.
It may be, again, I haven't talked with Core about that. They do have some other applications that I'm not looking at this time. Okay. They may have something to integrate it. I'm not sure. Sarah hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
From what I gather from her, it's a complete separate application.
Because the only reason I bring it up because I could see some value in being able to tag it and have certain things like, this is a traffic stop on this specific street, and maybe that's a problem street, and you can
now we'll have that
or,
in-house.
And then I guess that was a bad example, but I mean like tagging it to other cities and things like that. I guess
Right now
I'm explaining it in a bad way, but I think you get what I'm saying.
Commissioner Gary?
I make a motion to approve the purchase of the officer daily log and CAD applications from Core Technology in the amount of $12,200.
Support.
Been moved, supported. Will the officers, when they take photos and that stuff, will they be able to download those into the report?
Into the report system, we're actually working on that with the technology that we already have with our reporting system. We used to run paper and pictures and discs and everything over
Sure.
to the prosecutor's office. Now all the reports are sent electronically. They're built right into our copy machine, so the clerks will scan it and email it right to the prosecutor's office. And we're working on, we still have to provide them a disc because it's evidence, but we're also working on scanning all the images and pictures and witness statements in with the report and sending them as a complete package. We're actually doing that right now. Don't even need this stuff yet.
Thank you. Anyone else? We have motion to support. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty?
Yes.
Mayor Bospas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gage?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, Chief. Item C under the City Manager's report will provide for the adoption of a policy relating to the provision of water and sewer services to properties adjacent to but outside of the city limits. As Commissioners are aware, Public Act 425 of 1984 created a means of land transference between political jurisdictions that permits adjoining municipalities and townships to enter into long-term contracts relating to the taxation and provision of public services to land. Most often, these types of agreements are driven by a developer's desire to connect land within a township to the utility systems of an adjacent municipality as a means to support more intense development than could otherwise be supported through well and septic systems. Public Act 425 provides the framework for these types of agreements, as detailed within the materials included in the agenda. The specifics are left largely up to the municipality and the township to work out when potential developments arise. In the case of the city of Sault Ste. Marie, the city has historically utilized a policy that out-of-city water and sewer customers pay twice the rate paid by in-city customers. With the recent extension of services to Odenang, the city has received inquiries from businesses along 3 Mile Road expressing an interest in connecting to the utility system. Realizing that the existing utility policy fails to completely leverage the utility system to the city's benefit, the administration conducted internal discussions as to how Public Act 425 could be used to both expand the city's tax base as well as keep development within areas that are already served by utility infrastructure. The idea was put forth that in exchange for making utility service available to a specific parcel, be it for new or existing development, the city would require an agreement under Public Act 425 to be made between the city and an adjoining township prior to a connection being made, if such developments were to be proposed for properties outside of the city limits. The included policy would necessitate that an adjoining township transfer control via Public Act 425 of a property to be developed to the city for taxation, regulatory, and service purposes. The property, while technically remaining within the township, would also pay full city taxes and receive full city services. The agreements would be for a 50-year term, which is the maximum duration allowed under the Public Act, and at the end of that term, the property would be formally and entirely transferred into the city, subject to compliance with the statute. If in the event a township was disinterested in the idea, the policy could remain in place and the city could then work with a developer to find a location north of 3 Mile Road for development, which would help to leverage and continue to generate a return on the investment for the infrastructure that's already been put into place within the city limits. It's also worth noting that from the standpoint of the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, the availability of utilities, or lack thereof, is a consideration when evaluating the ability to issue a wetland permit, and as a result, an in-city parcel with utility service could be allowed to be developed even if the wetlands impact were greater than a township parcel that the city wasn't willing to serve. The adoption of this type of a policy was called for in previous master plans, and with the aforementioned increase in interest resulting from the Odenang water main extension, the present, from the standpoint of the administration, is an appropriate time to consider moving forward with the adoption of the included policy. Accordingly, it's my recommendation that the City Commission adopt the included policy as presented. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Ostrow.
Oliver, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I see where it's a win-win situation because actually the township will indeed get some of the money back that we collect in taxes, correct?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay. I know that there has been some concern as to this will be the city's attempt to actually annex the township into the city limits, and that's not the case whatsoever.
Right, administration has no interest in annexing the full township into the city.
Okay. So I so moved, we recommend the adoption of the policy relating to provisions of water and sewer services properties located adjacent to but outside of the city limits. Proposal 425.
Yeah.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any additional questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Osterhout?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gage?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item D under the City Manager's report would provide for the approval of a budget for the wastewater and stormwater asset management plans project as funded by the SAW grant. At this time, City Engineer Basista is planning to present on this matter as well as the next matter.
Good evening, Mayor.
Evening.
Commission-
Linda.
You've heard before the presentation regarding the SAW grant, which is stormwater and wastewater asset management plans. The DEQ granted us, the city, a grant in the amount of approximately $1.5 million to prepare stormwater and wastewater asset management plans. And the components of the project under the grant include the development of the wastewater asset management plan, a stormwater asset management plan, and also includes equipment purchases and staff training. We executed the agreement on November 2nd. You'll recall shortly before that we had come to you to change the signatory, the approved signer on the grant documents to City Manager Turner. And then DPW Director Jim Morrow and I went to C2AE, who helped us complete the application that was submitted in 2013. And we went through all the scope of work that was listed in their contract as part of the grant application, and to review the scope and see how we wanted to proceed with the tasks in the grant, because some of the work is more appropriate for a city to perform in-house, and some is more appropriate for C2AE to perform. So we went through that and ended up with a new scope of work for C2AE, which will come to you at the next City Commission meeting, the first meeting in December. That contract will come to you. Also, as part of the immediate expenditures for the grant, engineering put out a bid for a large paper scanner color plotter, and we received bids for that. It's under 10,000, so you won't see it here for approval, but that we expect to receive that before the end of the month. The grant will pay 100% for that. We also did the citywide contour map, where we did a flight and topographic 2-foot contour maps back in 2014 by Aerocon, and in the amount of $30,000, and that is reimbursable through this grant as well. We're able to get reimbursement for any expenditures that were grant eligible back as far as December of 2013. So we already are, in a way, meeting our match for the grant, but as part of just to set up the budgets, it's a 3-year process. We believe that also some of our match will be met with in-house staff, so we may not have any more out-of-pocket costs, but just as a caution, we wanted to set up a budget that has the matching amounts that the grant does require, and proposing that be transferred from the road contingency fund, because the grant requires the match on the stormwater portion of the grant. There's 2 components to the grant: the $1 million for the wastewater side, which we have no match for, and approximately $500,000 for the stormwater side, which there is a 10% match. So we are asking that the budget be set up in a total amount of $1,544,500 with a road contingency match of $54,500.
Okay, excellent. I guess just an explanation of what those are, what the asset management plan actually is. We spent, a little over 20 years doing the combined sewer overflow program, having all that millions and millions of dollars spent on the underground, and we have a asset management plan for our roads, and we see the sealant going down some of the cracking, the streets that have cracks and being sealed and stuff. So the asset management plan for the stormwater and wastewater is to continue to look at what we have, and is GIS going to be involved
Yeah.
in that?
Yes, GIS is already involved.
Yes.
You might recall back when we received about $1 million, just under $1 million for the, what's called the S2 grant.
Yes.
We were able to hire a consultant to do our mapping of our sewer system. That included the sanitary sewer and storm sewers. So we have a base map already in place for our GIS, which a lot of communities who are getting the SAW grant don't have at all. So we're already a step
Further along,
ahead
yeah.
in our mapping. The first step in this asset management plan is to go out and complete that map with, we put it on, we had some minor cleanups to do to finish the mapping back when we did it with the S2 grant. But the SAW grant came about while we were finishing it up and said, wait, let's put it on hold because we won't have to spend any more city dollars. We can use the SAW grant to finish it up. So we'll go out and finish it up, meaning we'll go locate any structures that we missed in that first round. And then right now, the mapping is of our sewers, just a map. That, you know, we can print it, we know what sizes are there, and where they're located
Location is
based on the
important, right?
manholes.
Yep.
But this work will actually, what's called inventory the manholes and the pipe. So we have to go in, we'll be televising pipes of a certain age to get their condition, to assess the condition. We'll be assessing manhole conditions. We will be formalizing the depths of the sewers, collecting the depths of the sewer so that we can get the slopes on the sewers, and we'll be able to model our system. Right now, I can't model our system when, say, somebody comes in and wants to connect to the sanitary sewer, and we know approximately how much they might contribute to that sanitary sewer, but we really don't know what the capacity of our system is throughout the system. I pretty much rely on Jim Morrow, who's been with the utilities forever, and he knows by having, you know, been around them, which ones are pretty much running at capacity or have plenty of capacity available. So with the asset management grant money, we will collect the data that we also need to be able to model the system to determine capacities. So whenever a new development, especially large development, we'll know down the system where we might have problems with adding new service. So it's a condition assessment, it's capacity assessment, and with stormwater, we'll be able to also analyze our stormwater system, identify deficiencies, and we'll be able to plan to continue improvements. And the SAW grant does require that you then show, after you determine all your capacity or all your condition assessments, that you do your critical assessments. This is also with the wastewater treatment plan as well. You determine what your criticality is of the components and what's left, the useful life, and make a plan for capital improvements from that. We already do a capital improvement plan, so that's one thing we already have in place. But this, the SAW grant actually goes a little deeper into that. We'll have to show as part of this grant that we currently charge enough for our rates in order to do the improvements that we need to do based on the asset management reports. We already do a really good job of keeping up with our rates, as been doing because of the CSO project. So I think we're way ahead of a lot of communities in this regard, but we're getting 1.5 million, so it's
And the good
it's
thing
a really
about it is
great
it's
thing.
not city money, it's grant money. So that
Absolutely.
anytime we can do that, it just benefits the property owners and the citizens.
Right, and ultimately, also part of this grant, we intend to buy tablets, much like the police chief has, you know, for the police officers in the cars. We'll be able to send our water and sewer department out with tablets, and they will be able to look up information, look up as-built drawings, and anything they need right there in their trucks.
Excellent.
So that's the goal.
Thank you. Commissioner Gage?
I think that anytime you spend $54,000 and you get $1.5 million back in grants, that's fantastic, you know? The only question I have is, what's the shelf life for a plan like this? Is this something where you keep it updated and it kind of keeps
Yes,
rolling?
you have to keep it updated, and part of our issue with GIS in the past is that we had tried to do GIS, but we didn't have somebody who was keeping it updated and tracking it and on a regular basis. We have our GIS technician, Leo Miller, now. So he will be the lead in keeping that data updated, along with the Water and Sewer Department. When they're out in the field, if there's a change or new construction, we'll be able to update the data, and it's a ongoing continuation.
Commissioner Twardy?
Yeah, well, I like that I know what you're talking about. This is really fun because this is what my son did all summer long, was a SAW project in a township downstate. And they were really busy. They were working on, like, they did 30 to 40 manholes a day. It's a huge township, and it's very urban. And so he said it was really, really interesting to stick the cameras down there, and there was a few times where they forgot to upload all the information, so they had to repeat. But I like that I know what you're talking about, and it's a great grant, and it's a great system, and we'll be all updated.
Great.
So with that being said, can I make the motion?
Sure. If we don't have one, certainly.
Okay. I make the motion that we approve the presented budget for the SAW project as requested, with up to $54,500 to be transferred from the road contingency fund.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please. Thank you.
Commissioner Twardy?
Yes.
Mayor Boswell?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gage?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item E under the city manager's report would provide for the approval of a budget amendment for the Ashman Street Utilities and Streetscape Project. City Engineer Bethesda.
Thank you.
Right.
As you are aware, Ashman Street Streetscape and Utilities Project wrapped up the end of October. I'd call it substantially complete. And we're still waiting on, expecting this year, yet before the end of the month, for the streetlights to get erected. And I'm hopeful that they will actually be done before the Parade of Lights, because the Parade of Lights comes that part of Ashman Street. So I have a good feeling that they will be installed, but I can't promise that. But with that project, you approved a budget, the original budget back in fiscal year 2014-2015. That was a total budget of about $1.5 million, and the city share of that was $897,400, with an MDOT share of $600. As you may be aware, MDOT Ashman is an MDOT road, but we had utilities that we needed to fix. The plan was to replace the water main, which we did. We did not have a plan to replace the sanitary sewer, but we did replace it with this project. So the budget was created several years ago, actually, under former city engineer Dave Strickland. So he actually did a very good job of setting the initial budget for this project. The city pays for also the reconstruction of the parking lanes. So MDOT is responsible for only the travel lanes. The city is responsible for the parking lanes, and the city is also responsible for sidewalks and streetscape. As you may know, when you approved the budget, you did not approve the streetscape portion of the project, because we did not have the funds for that. During design, we were able to jointly apply for a transportation alternatives grant with MDOT for the streetscape portion of the project, which also covered the sidewalks and the street lights, trees, and some of the other elements that are there or not there yet, but will be next summer. And so with the streetscape, with the additional sanitary sewer repair or replacement, actually, the total project is at $2,300,000. MDOT has a share of that. The city has a share of that. The Transportation Alternatives Grant also has a share of that. So what I need is we need to do a budget amendment to cover the city's share of the increased cost, which is $97,204. And we're proposing that share plus another $85,000 come from the sewer depreciation fund and return $85,000 to the water depreciation fund, which is the source of the utility budget originally. There is a correction in the recommendation in that the total amount for the to be taken from the sewer depreciation reserve is $182,204 to cover the budget gap of $97,204 and to return $85,000 of the $478,400 that came out of originally the water depreciation reserve. That was a lot, so.
Commissioner Gary, you understand the motion?
Yep.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the revised budget for the Ashland Street project in the overall amount of $2,305,278 is shown on the attached source and use budget worksheet, and transfer $182,204 from the sewer depreciation reserves to the project while returning $85,000 to the water depreciation reserve.
Support.
Very good. It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions of Linda? Roll call, please. Thank you.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gage?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout?
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item F under the City Manager's Report is a 3-month budget review as of September 30, 2015. Finance Director Collins is making a presentation on this subject matter. Thank you.
Okay. Evening, Kristen.
Good evening. We're doing quite well so far this fiscal year. It starts July 1st. We have 3 months in as of this report. Nothing unusual yet in October, but we haven't closed the month yet. I'll try to keep it brief since it's getting late. We have $203,000 to add to the general fund revenues. $147,000 of that is in lieu of tax water. So that there was an error in the computation at budget time, and so we can double it. The sad news on that is that it's an expense to the sewer and water fund. So it's just a transfer between funds. The other one is positive news, though. It's additional appropriation from the state called a local community stabilization share. You probably all heard about it at your MML conference. We'll get a $56,000 extra. It's possible that more money may come in on that, but we're not sure, and it doesn't look like a whole lot. So I put it through on this. $203,000 positive effect on the general fund. And the expense side, we have additional audit costs for GASB 68, and you'll be seeing the audit presentation next meeting. That extra work is a requirement. We have no choice. We didn't really want to do it, but it's supposed to increase our transparency. And so maybe someone will benefit from that extra reporting on our pension funds, but it's going to cost us $5,500 extra in the general fund. And the police fire pension fund will pay an extra $4,000 for the actuarial services. Also in the general government section is a $8,100 expenditure to demo a residential building at the cemetery. And that money is going to be coming in from the perpetual care fund. So it took commission action to do that since it's a transfer between funds. So total for the general government is $13,600 extra cost, with some of that being offset by the transfer in. We have another budget revision in culture and recreation. And before I jump to that, I should say that public safety is doing very well so far in the year, and most of the other categories in that area are all set, no problems. DPW is within range. For the culture and recreation, we have a transfer. It's really just a bookkeeping thing. We had posted $50,500 worth of repairs at the puller to our repair and maintenance, but it's such a lot of money, and it would benefit us over 2 years, so we decided to capitalize it. So that's just a kind of a cleanup. We're going to push it up down into the capital equipment. And then $10,000 was a transfer that we need to send over to the DDA because they're clearing our sidewalks. And especially, they do a good job around City Hall, and so we are helping to contribute toward that, and that was just missed at budget time. So those are the general fund highlights. Are there any questions?
Any questions of Kristen?
I
don't
think
believe so.
I think I'll just race right to the end then, if you don't mind. We have the general fund, the police and fire, the perpetual care transfer that I mentioned earlier. The DDA, there's a little bit of housekeeping in there, but pretty much it's the transfers in. We have a little extra money, actually a lot of extra money coming in the street funds, $160,000. So I'm dividing it between the two, and then offsetting all those increases are transfers out to wherever that money was going to go anyway. So that's a quick, really quick summary of all of the transfers. If there's any questions on the other funds, I
Just
could
said
explain.
the net increase to the general fund is
200. No, sorry. 179 when you take off the little
About
change in
180,000
expenses.
total.
$180,000.
okay. That's the bottom line type of thing.
Yes,
Okay.
and at the next meeting with the audit, I will have that fund balance equation that everybody loves.
Yes. Mhm.
So that you can see where we're at, because then I'll have the end of the fiscal year and where we're at this year.
Excellent.
So,
Any questions of Kristen? Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Commissioner Bauer.
So move the commission approve the budget revisions detailed by the finance director, Kristen Collins, in that report.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage,
Yes.
Commissioner Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty,
Yes.
Mayor Bastos.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you.
There is an additional item for consideration for the City Commission. Placed in front of you is a cover memorandum regarding a request received from Jeff Hagan from EUP Regional Planning and Development Commission. He's requesting that the City Commission support their application for this round of Regional Prosperity Initiative grant applications. And right now, the EUP Regional Planning Commission is looking to take their current structure, which is a collaborative, up to a council structure, which incorporates more collaboration between various local entities.
He said this is an add-on to the agenda. We would need a 6-0 vote of all the present. Commissioner Gage, would you like to make a motion to add this item to the agenda?
I move to add this item to the agenda.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. We need a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Gage,
Yes.
Commissioner Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Osterhout,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty,
Yes.
Mayor Bastos.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, it is before the commission. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The Regional Prosperity Initiative is an initiative that was launched under Governor Snyder in an effort to try to streamline multiple jurisdictional agencies and try to enhance collaboration and communication. I think the merger of Michigan Works and Regional Planning is a perfect example of that type of progress. And right now, what the EUP Regional Planning and Development Commission is looking to do, there are 3 tiers that are inherent to the RPI program. The first is a collaborative, the second is a council, and the third is a stronger form of committee. And right now, the current structure is a collaborative, Tier 1. And EUP Regional Planning and Development Commission is looking to take this to the next level with Tier 2, which will provide for some potentially shared administrative services and some expanded collaborative planning between the different agencies and organizations that are involved.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Gary.
I make a motion to support the resolution in support of the Regional Planning and Development application on behalf of the EUP Regional Prosperity Collaborative.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? They need a letter and a resolution of support, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
That concludes the city manager's report. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 are matters presented by the public. Is there anyone in the audience like to make a comment at this time? Our Downtown Development Director, Justin Nepper, is asking for the floor.
Good evening.
Evening.
I just wanted to give everybody a quick update about the Parade of Lights and just general Christmas preparations.
Excellent.
If you haven't noticed yet, downtown is starting to look amazing, even though we don't have any snow yet, which
Easy.
we're okay with. But the street department has been doing a great job putting all of our garlands and bows up, and if anybody's interested, we're looking for a little bit of donations to help with garlands and bows for this new South Ashland section of town. So hopefully this year when the light poles go up, hopefully by the Parade of Lights time, we'll also have the funds collected to get the garlands and bows pretty quickly before Christmas anyway. But the Parade of Lights is our first kind of kickoff event to the whole season of Christmas downtown. That will be happening on November 27th, which is coming up the day after Thanksgiving. So there will be the Parade of Lights, which starts behind Parker's Ace Hardware. Parker Hardware is actually sponsoring the Parade of Lights this year. They've been hosting it behind Parker's Hardware for 20 or 30 years. The Downtown Development Authority is proud to announce them as the main sponsor of the Parade of Lights this year. We'll be able to offer cash prizes for the first time because of that sponsorship, at least since I've been here. So we'll have a $300 first place prize for the best lit float, $200 for second place, $100 for third place. The parade will head north on Court Street, turn west on Easter Day, and just catch the little bit of Easter Day on the side of Super Value, turn right back onto Ashman Street and head up all the way up Ashman Street to Portage. And this is the first year the parade will be switching and ending at City Hall here at 225 East Portage Avenue. So the parade will be turning right on Portage and then ending right here in front of City Hall. We'll be lighting the Christmas tree right on the,
To the east of the building.
on the east side of the building. Yep, there's 2 large pine trees, one on each side. So this year it'll be the east side Christmas tree there that will be lit very well. The lights are going up, I think, over the next couple weeks. It'll look great. So we'll have all the same kind of fun and activities planned. I hope Mayor Bassos, you'll be giving a speech at the tree as usual. Santa Claus should be there giving a speech as well. And we'll have, hopefully, I just spoke to the Salvation Army. They usually offer free hot chocolate to everyone with their hot chocolate wagon. They'll be there. We should have a lot of great activities here at City Hall as well as up and down Ashman Street when the parade goes by. So that'll be November 27th. The very next morning is Small Business Saturday, which is a growing event all across the country, November 28th. So all day Saturday, November 28th, is kind of our version of Black Friday for downtown. We're promoting that heavily. There will be a lot of our businesses. We have over 30 retail shops that will be focusing on Small Business Saturday. So we'll be doing a special event this year called, and it's a little bit tech-centric, but we'll be doing a small business selfie event. So each shop or store will be, we're working on setting up kind of a really cool display that people can go in, get their picture taken. Let's say at Harmony Health Foods, standing, so people can see I'm at Harmony Health Foods, I'm shopping at Harmony Health Foods. Tag hashtag Downtown Sioux shopping, which will go on our Twitter and Facebook page, and we'll be picking the best pictures to kind of share with the community. And those people that have the best pictures in the stores will be getting a chance to win a $50 downtown gift certificate. So we're doing a lot of that. A lot of the businesses are excited. Then the very next 2 Saturdays, December 5th and December 12th, are our downtown Christmas open house events. We already have our horse-drawn carriages booked with Bell. It's not Bell Farms. It's Don Bell's farm. And I can't remember it's Bell's Percheron, I believe. I have to get his name correct. But that will be going both of those days. We'll also be having photos with Santa at Avery Square. If you haven't gone to Avery Square over the last few years at Christmas, it is amazing. They do huge Christmas displays. I think 20 or 30 Christmas trees in there that are already being put together, so that'll be happening. We will have, again, photos with Santa in Avery Square, and all the businesses will be doing everything from hopefully live music, perhaps roasted chestnuts. We're talking to people about all of those types of things for those 2 weekends. So we have pretty much from the Parade of Lights all the way through mid-December. Every weekend will be a Christmas shopping holiday event downtown. Any questions on any of the
I guess just a
items?
comment that people will realize that we aren't going down Ann Street now and entering Ashland, but actually going up Court to Easter Day and just that one block and Easter Day around Super Value and then down Easter Day at the lake.
Yes, so you can actually, we'll be giving people a little bit more room to stand.
Yes.
All the way up to the Ashman Easter Day corner, all along Super Value, Edgerly's, that whole block will be for people to stand and watch the parade. It's been pretty crammed with all the floats that are on Hursley and Court Street in the past. This will give us a little bit more room to get set up back there. So if you are listening and you have an organization or a business or a charity or anything that wants to be in the float, please call the downtown office, 635-6973. We can get you registered and get you signed up. And then also, just wanted to mention too, we'll be working to get City Hall open just for people to be able to use restrooms and warm up, hopefully that night as well, if everyone here is okay with that.
Well, thank you for the update. It sounds like it's going to be a nice event, and first time having the tree lit in City Hall to the east side of the building, which should be a nice event. So certainly we need a lot of help bringing Santa to the mic, and normally the commission members that are there get to participate. So we certainly encourage everyone to
Hopefully
be
only
in,
one
be in
Santa.
attendance. Yeah.
Yep, I think we're down to just one Santa this year.
Yeah, just one
A
Santa.
couple very, very weirded out kids. The
Confused.
one parade, I think 3 parades ago, we had 3 or 4 Santas that randomly showed up. So. Only the one true Santa will be there this time.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Anyone else? Okay, item number 6 are matters presented by the commission. At this time, we should at least have our thoughts and prayers going out to the folks in Paris that were certainly involved in the attacks, and it's all over the TV, and we know what that is like being here in Michigan and 9/11, which seems like only yesterday, but looking at almost 15 years now. 14 for sure, and working on 15 of that actually happening in the United States. And that is a similar event when I think they look at the numbers of the people that were involved. It was pretty much the same numbers that we had here proportionally. So keep those families in your prayers, and hopefully what the answer is going forward. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion, and it continues even as we sit here. We enjoy the freedoms certainly because of the military that has been involved over the years, and we certainly keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Bauer?
I did want to mention that the Sioux Theater and Stars has had a really successful movie run as of late. Last weekend, when they did Frozen and Raiders of the Lost Ark, they had, I want to say, slightly over 300 people there for the Frozen shows, so that was highly successful. They're not doing it over Thanksgiving, but they do have a couple of holiday-oriented movies coming up this weekend, which would be Miracle on 34th Street and a really good Thanksgiving movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So,
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
those aren't pillows.
Yeah. Favorite line in the movie.
Anyone else? Commissioner Gage.
Ray stole my thunder. I was going to mention that because I had the opportunity to go volunteer, and it was actually a lot of fun watching movies in the Sioux Theater. I thought it was a fantastic event.
Mm-hmm.
So since he stole my thunder on that, on
Sorry.
a personal note, I just wanted to mention that my wonderful, lovely grandmother had her birthday last week, and she called me today just specifically.
I forgot to mention that.
No, yep, you did. But she called me specifically to find out what channel to watch tonight for the city commission meeting. So happy birthday, Grandma!
Okay.
And with that, I'll yield.
Okay. With that, we leave let Commissioner Gage close the meeting if you'd like.
Your Honor, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I don't know.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
You got the clothes for Grandma. Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, like, if a city